Hey everyone, you're listening to Party Time, My Golf Story with Kevin Walsh and whatever special guest he has today. You can check me out on episode 9 of the podcast. Today I'm wearing Grayson clothes while I'm out practicing because I believe in look good, play good. And follow me on Instagram, Sophia Warren Golf, and hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
It's Party Time, My Golf Story, brought to you by Party Drinks. Classically designed golf drinks for golfers by golfers. And the golf real estate pros Gene Walsh and Vince Vizzacaro. For your Southwest Florida real estate needs, check them out at suncoastdreams.com. Now here's your host, Kevin Walsh.
Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the program. Tom Coyne, the noted author, is with us. Has a new book out, a course called Home. I've read all Tom's books, and this is right up there with the rest. In fact, maybe my favorite. It's been out for a little time. I read the book in just a couple of days, which means I was engaged with it. It's not a thin book. It's not a super fat book, but it comes from the heart. And it's the story of Tom becoming the unlikely owner of a golf course and an operator of it. And anything that Tom Coyne writes is interesting. If you've read his past books, and I suggest you do, you know that. Tom Coyne is our guest. So two Philly guys reconnecting, talking about golf, getting to the heart of the matter. Hey, if you haven't subscribed to the podcast, would you do so, please? Because that matters to the nerds at YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. And it also helps our sponsors out because they want to know who's watching and helps keep the podcast going. Party Drinks, the title sponsor of this podcast. If you don't have Party at the golf course where you play and you want it, and you should want it, then get in touch with Paradise Craft Distributors, the exclusive distributor of Party Drinks in the state of Florida, also available in New England, parts of New York, and also around America. If you're in the market to buy golf real estate, nobody better than the golf real estate pros of Gene Walsh and Vince Vizzacaro from suncoastdreams.com, a division of fine properties in the greater Sarasota area. You could be my neighbor right here at Lakewood National Golf Club, where this podcast originates from, or across the street at Calusa Country Club. Really good golf, good time to buy. Always a good time to buy a house on a golf course. And if all that golf has you tuckered out and you need a mani-pedi, cold water plunge, hot tub, massage, something like that, then BioLit Spa in downtown Sarasota has you covered. Okay, Tom Coyne, you seem like a mani-pedi guy with BioLit Spa.
Oh my gosh.
Are you?
You would be shocked, Kevin. I'm more of a petty guy. I have 2 daughters, so our bonding when it's like, hey, what do you want to do? I'd like to get a pedicure. That's what they're saying, and I'm not going to deny myself that time with my kids. So it's relaxing as heck. You sit in these massage chairs, they rub your feet. I'm like, this is great. It's only $40. This is awesome. So, I'm going to take you up on that spa deal you got going.
Yeah, you got it. Well, who knew a kid from the mean streets of Delco?
I know.
Yeah,
mean streets of media that I've gotten so soft. We walked to school both ways with no shoes. And now I'm getting pedicures. It's outrageous.
How have you been, brother?
I've been good. I've been really good. Good to see you. I've been busy, bouncing around, promoting the new book. So that's exciting. And, we're off to, we're having a great season up at Sullivan County, the golf course that the book is about. So, dividing my time between the Philly burbs and the Catskills where the course is and traveling around too, talking about the book. So it's been a great summer.
Holy smokes. Yep. That's a lot. Well, how much time are you spending? Are you dinging and donging between?
Yeah, you could say that. I'm up there every week for at least a couple days. We have a home up there now. So it is the title of the book is literal, a course called Home. But it's tricky, you finally get a vacation home and then you realize all your kids' stuff is right where you live. So you don't go there.
I got you. Yeah.
So we're back and forth. Camps down here, recitals, all that stuff. So, but I have to get up there quite a bit for, when we have events and outings and people coming to see the course. So I'm excited. I'll be up there this week. So that'll be nice.
Well, it's and you put it all in the book, how difficult it can be to to own a golf course, to operate, and all that comes with it. And as I was reading it, what I was thinking about is like, I think a lot of people that say, I'd like to own a restaurant. And then they get involved and they're like, oh boy, this is a lot more than I thought. Same for you?
Yeah, right. It's all your dreams and nightmares come true. Every golfer, you know, at some point, maybe you have a fantasy, especially now, because it does seem like people are either building their own golf courses or, you know, building these kind of getaway retreats for their golf group. And that idea of like, what if I had my own golf course? Like, what would that be like? You know, how would I run it? You know, how would I'd make the rules so we could do this and we didn't have to do that anymore and all that stuff. And I guess that's all part of the fun fantasy of it. But yeah, then it becomes like running any business, and, you know, where you're focused on, you know, I had to learn a lot of, it wasn't my intention to become a golf course operator or owner. So I had to learn a lot of new things, or was exposed to new things, payroll and taxes and disability and all these things that, well, thankfully, you know, accountants are good at that stuff too, but I at least had to know where to send the letters that came. And yeah, you know, I'm a writer. So by my job and my training is to sit in this room and spend a lot of time alone. And then suddenly you're on a team of people, and you're relying on those people and trusting them. And you have to make some hard decisions about people sometimes. So all of that, you know, anyone that's knows what it's like to manage a business, this is old hat for them. But I'm learning these are all new things for me. So that's probably the thing I've liked most about this. It's been the hardest part of it, but I like the idea of a new challenge and learning something new. And Sullivan County has certainly been that.
Well, you certainly had a cast of characters that I think you relied upon, and at times they were they uplifted you and went above what your expectations were. But you know, in dealing with people, sometimes things get a little sideways. You get, you know, personality stuff, or equipment breaks, or there's a problem with the weather. And you certainly had that and spelled that out in the book, which is affecting growing. And then you got trees and all this stuff. What was it like just coming home at the end of the day? Were you dog ass tired?
Yeah, I was tired, but it was a good tired, right? It wasn't like my brain was fried from answering 100 emails, right? It was like I was physically tired. Like I'd put in, you know, that first year, I don't get on the mower as much as I initially did, but, you know, as the book begins, I'm on a mower. You know, so that first year, you know, up very early, up at trying to get out of the house as close to dawn as you can, and getting on a mower and, you know, doing as many fairways as you can get in before the golfers show up. You know, you get you're tired, and then you're there, and then there's somebody there that you have to, you know, that you're showing the course to or hosting for golf. And I shouldn't say you have to play golf. You know, what a privilege it is always to play golf, but it's sort of, you're not always playing like fun golf. You're playing like, ooh, like, would you be a member here, or would you help this course, or would you invest in it or something? So, by the end of the day, you're tired, but it's like you spent your day well, you know, in pursuit of something, trying to make something good stick around a little bit longer. So it's a very satisfying feeling for sure. I'm very fortunate to be a part of it.
What are you thinking about when you're on the tractor? Are you doing any writing in your head, or does it involve a concentration on the grass and the mow patterns? Because one thing jumped out at me where you talked about tricking the grass. You don't cut in the same direction all the time because the grass has to be tricked. What's going on there?
Yeah, so that was something Sean, you know, my superintendent, who's the whole reason I ended up there. I mean, I got a DM on Twitter or Instagram from somebody I didn't know, who said there's this 9-hole course that's about to turn 100 years old and it's going to close. And would you look at it, or do you know people who would invest in it or buy it, or, do you want to buy it? And like, just looking for help. And I thought, well, maybe this is a story for the Golfer's Journal, or just a curiosity I'll check out. I've never been to the Catskills, so I went and looked at it, and that's how this whole thing happened, purely by accident. So Sean had to teach me a lot, because when I got involved, I'm like, dude, we can't afford. Like, it was him and his assistant Chris, and that was it. So in terms of taking care of the property, so I'm like, well, I'm here, man. I'm here to work. So he put me on. He let me do the fairways and taught me how. And yeah, it was basically like that. We still do. You try and switch up your mow pattern so that the grass doesn't continue to just lay in one direction, and where you're not getting a good cut on it. So if you've gone one direction one day, the next day you come back, you go the other direction, and you get it to stand up, and you're getting a better cut. And we're little stuff like that's important for us, because we have every type of grass growing in the fairways at Sullivan County. It's a country natural golf course, so it's not just pure beautiful bent grass that wants to sit up every morning and just say, give me a little trim, and we don't get to cut every fairway every morning. So we make the best of it when we can. So we switch up the patterns, and I have to learn the patterns. And when I'm out there, I'm thinking about, where was I on my last pass? Right. It's good time to check out and not think about anything, and just be focused on, here's that line that I just cut. And as the day gets warmer, it gets harder to see that line because the dew evaporates. So that's all you're really thinking about. And how great is that, to not be looking at your phone and not be bothered by anything, and just say, I'm going to stay on this line and mow this grass. And when I'm finished, I can look back at what I've done. It's a pretty great feeling.
It's kind of like the man who cuts his own lawn and then sits in the backyard with lemonade or the beverage of his choice and looks at his work. It means more to him than the guy that has the lawn crew that comes in and says, "Oh, look how nice my grass is." It's getting connected to the earth.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, how bad a shape was the course in when you got there, and when you started thinking, yeah, maybe I will buy this place with some help, and we'll get into some of the investors in a moment.
Yeah.
Where was it, and where did you think you needed to get it to where it could be attractive to daily fee players and then maybe members?
The course wasn't in the worst shape. Sean needed a lot of help in terms of equipment, and thanks to our friends at Toro who helped us out there. And we didn't get new stuff, but we got some good used stuff, at a really good deal. And we were able to get he needed gear, right? So there was some, financial input for getting him set up so that he could take care of the golf course. And we've continued to do that. And every year we add a little bit more so we can do a little bit more. So that's great. I mean, he'd done miracles with almost like nothing. And but it wasn't the golf course. The clubhouse was pretty much shuttered. It was, the locker room was like in the basement. It was sort of a dungeon experience walking down there. The dining room and the bar, they'd just been left for years, and they were just sort of cobwebs and grease in the kitchen. And it was, it's some pretty graphic descriptions in the book of what we walked into. So that was the biggest miracle transformation, was the clubhouse. The course, grass will grow with sun and water. And, we did end up making a lot of changes, and some of that's been growing in. So the course does continue to get better, but the clubhouse, it's like night and day. I mean, we have this awesome restaurant in there now, awesome fun bar, great art everywhere. It's called Otto's, named after our aviator, Otto Hillig, who flew from our 8th fairway to Denmark in 1931 in the first transatlantic flight to Denmark. So, the food is awesome. I love hanging out there. You mentioned like restaurant owners, it'd be cool to own a restaurant, right? That's my favorite part. I thought I'd just love owning my own golf course, but on the golf course, because I'm the golf guy, they expect me to do stuff and know stuff and be in charge of stuff. And I can just kind of go into the restaurant and be like, what's up, my restaurant people? And like, hey, get around. There's no cooler feeling than walking in as the part owner of a restaurant and buying around for everyone at the bar. That is, I don't know, man. That's like Goodfellas stuff. I feel really, really cool.
Yeah. Well, as a Philly boy, I mean, you would know something about. We've been to a couple places where
There's been a few. It's been a few.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I never owned them.
I know. So it's like, but I always wanted to make sure that I was like looking at the door when I was in those places. But I still love the feeling of it. Can you play around at Sullivan County, Tom, and not fuss over stuff, or can you just escape and just really play golf?
It's tougher than it probably initially was. I mean, and it was tough in the beginning too. Just because not really. No, you go out as an owner operator, and you're looking. You're playing golf, but you're doing you're checking in on your product, right? So you're noticing things that if this was someone else, and I have to keep that perspective too. I have to remember when I'm out there, if someone else owned this golf course and I was here today just paying my $25 to play, would I be happy with this? And the answer is always yes. But as the owner, you're like, oh my gosh, that tee box is beat up, and we didn't mow this tee today, and those are the things that you can't shake those things, and that's all right. It doesn't mean I don't still have fun. And I really do have fun. And I have fun when I'm playing with Sean, because we'll like just sit there and rap and all the stuff we still want to do and the things that we're fixing and what's going to get better and what's still a pain in the ass and all that. So, it's not recreational purely, but it's still pretty cool.
When you saw the need for like the amount of work that needed to be done in the clubhouse, changes to the golf course and everything, I don't think you got into the real nitty gritty of the financials, but it was going to stretch you, and you needed some help. Conversations with the wife, how did they go? Like,
well, you know what? For all my nonsense and misadventures, I've done some pretty silly stuff in golf. Walked the coast of Ireland, played 542 days in a row once to try and turn pro, did some craziness in Scotland, 8 months traveling, golfing America. So buying a golf course really didn't even register as like unreasonable. It actually sounds somewhat responsible, because it's like, oh, then we'd actually have this thing aside from this book on our shelf, which she loves. But at the end of the day, it's like, oh, okay, we're going to actually have a business. Okay, that sounds kind of grown up and cool. And she really liked the idea of that. She loved the idea of there being a restaurant, and she wanted to be a part of it. And she was, she helped on the landscaping and all that fun stuff. And it just sounded like a fun adventure that our family could be a part of. Because my adventures to that point had been very much me, solo, kind of wandering off into the golf universe. And this was an us story, very much an us story. Everyone at Sullivan County, my family, and she was kind of excited to spend the summer in the Catskills. So, and she still is, so much so that after the first year we bought a house there, she loves it up there so much. The Catskills, man, they're just stunningly beautiful. They had their heyday in the 50s and 60s in the Dirty Dancing era. And they've certainly fallen off since. But they're not any less gorgeous. So it's like going to Vermont, but half the distance, Kevin.
Yes, indeed. When did the idea for the book come about? Was it before the opportunity to purchase Sullivan County, or somewhere shortly thereafter? Walk me down the genesis of it all.
Well, I was fishing for a book idea, to be honest. A course called America was out, and I'd signed a contract for the next book, which the subject was golf book. So we needed something more specific. And I was kicking around some ideas. I did want to tell, we were talking about, spending a year at a golf course and telling the story of what, an inside out look at, how a golf club really operates. And then, I started getting these messages from this greenskeeper, and But at no point was I like, oh, I'm going to buy a golf course and write a book about that. It just evolved. I saw Sullivan County. I did think, well, what if this story became like more than a magazine story? What if I really did this? And it could be like, we bought a zoo, like we'll see what happens. But I still didn't intend to buy it. The owners gave me a year they were great. They wanted it to stay a golf course. They just had about 3 years of losing money, and they were trying to save it too. And they weren't really golf guys. So, they couldn't sort of make that piece go. So they're like, hey, you can have it for a year, kick the tires, as long as you take over all the expenses, taxes, utilities, everything. And you don't have to bother us for anything here. Just take it for a year. And then at the end of the year, decide if you do want to buy it. So that's what I did. So I thought the book was going to be 1 year long. And I was kind of thinking about it in those terms and taking notes in those terms, that the end of the book would be whether we decided to buy it or not. But once we did, my editor at Avid Reader, Simon & Schuster, he's a wonderful guy who's a huge golfer, and is like, hey, now what happens now? Like, I gotta hear the rest. Like, you're buying it now and you're going to redesign it and all that, and you're designing it with your architecture partner. I'm involved in an architecture firm, and I got to hear the rest of this. So the book became not about 1 year; it became about 3 years. So it's a lot in there.
It's good stuff, Tom. Just how it all evolved and everything. It satisfies some things. You're on the hook for a book. Here it goes. But as you describe it, it kind of evolved organically, and you were the perfect person for it, and you told it so well. Tom Coyne is our guest here, the author of a course called Home. He is also the owner and operator of Sullivan County Golf Club. Tom has written numerous books, and he is the editor of Golfer's Journal, hosts the podcast as well, and a Philly guy from Delco as well. So at some point, though, Tom, you needed more investors, more money to keep it going. Bill Murray, I know you're pretty public about your friendship with him, and then Jason Kelsey came on board, longtime Philadelphia Eagle. Was it? Can you share just like? Kelsey, his people approached you, but Bill, it was you the other way. Why don't you walk me through it?
It was a bit of a mix, yeah. So Bill did reach out early on when I got involved and was like, "Hey, did you buy a golf course?" I think he might have heard from one of his brothers, or I don't know, maybe from me. And so he came to see it like in the second month we were there, and came on a freezing cold day, and we had a pretty awful time. I mean, the weather conditions were rough. It was one of those smoke out. We just got another one of those here with the Canadian wildfires. So it looked like Armageddon up there in the mountains, and it was and I thought, well, I guess if I was ever planning, I didn't even know if I was going to buy it at that point. It's like, well, if I ever do, I don't think Bill will be involved. And we kind of left it at that. But then, once Sullivan County really got into my blood, I mean, the course, it became pretty clear pretty early on that I wasn't going to walk away from it. I wasn't going to walk away from Sean. And so then it's like, all right, who's going to be a part of this? So we got the original owners to stay in so they could redo the clubhouse, with plans to, develop some of our other acres for, hospitality and homes and things like that. The course owns a lot more land than it occupies. And then it was like, hey, Bill, like, we have a business plan. We have some ideas of how this might work. And, I sent that off to him and didn't hear anything for a while. And then, he finally, like, it was getting late in the fall, and I didn't know if I was coming back in the spring. It's kind of what we were up against. And he called and was like, hey, what do you need for this thing? And I told him, and he's like, all right, sounds like a good idea. So that was a good day. So then we were purchasing it, and we had Bill Murray as a partner. Soon after that, Mike Madden came on as a partner. Of the Madden football family. Mike is probably the nicest person in the world that I know. And he lives in the like Bay Area, but owns Fighters Heaven in Deer Lake, Pennsylvania, which isn't terribly far from Sullivan County. So Fighters Heaven was Muhammad Ali's training camp. So he owns and runs that. And so it actually made sense for him because he's out there a few times a year. And then I played some golf with Jason's partners, business partners, and they were asking about the course. I was telling them about the course, and I was like, hey, by the way, we'd love to have you guys on board. So pretty soon thereafter, Team Kelsey became part of Sullivan County Golf Club. So Jason's been great. He's been up there a few times and been super supportive, and it's a cool place. I mean, he's got his hands in a lot of different things, and so we can sell his garage beer. We have his hot sauce in the restaurant, so there's some good synergies with Kelsey Brands, and he's also probably the most genuine, nice person as well. So we're very fortunate. I mean, to say I own a golf course with Bill Murray and Jason Kelsey and I'm at it, and it's like, oh, you must be like this Hollywood type person, and I'm absolutely not. I just happen to play a lot of golf, and through all that golf, there, some certain people have wandered into my life, and I've been very, fortunate in that regard. And also at the end of the day, if you want to buy a golf course and go on an adventure like this, you want to appeal to people for who are golf crazy, and two, aren't just doing it as like a business deal, looking at it that way, right? You need to look at this as like, we're trying to preserve something good. We're trying to do something good for a community. We'll probably break even. We might make money. We're not anywhere close to that yet, for sure. But maybe someday we will. But that's a hard sell to make to somebody who's looking at, oh, what do your P&L sheets look like, and what's your returns in year 5 and all those kinds of things. Like, yeah, we had that in a business plan, but at the end of the day, you just had to want to go on an adventure. And these are 3 people who would go on an adventure with me, and that was it's been a good one.
Sounds like good guys to ride with. Did you see my wife just walking there, Tom?
Yeah, tell her I said hi.
I will. So what a good ride it is. How's everything going at the Golfers Journal?
Golfers Journal is doing great. It's been what a wonderful adventure that's been. Let's see, we're coming up on our we're coming up on our 10th year. I mean, the journal started essentially as an idea to do something different than everyone else is doing in media. That we were going back to print. Getting away from the digital. So, this quarterly golf art and lifestyle and travel and adventure, and this book, the concept initially felt very like old school, and now it's been interesting how it's evolved. We have members around the world. We're more of a golf community, a golf society, the Broken Tee Society. We have our Broken Tee logo. More so than just a magazine. We have 50 events around the world every year, and we travel the world playing golf together, and a podcast, and we make films, and it's wild. It's really been cool to see it grow and evolve, but also stay true to what it is, which is it's a community that really loves golf, is passionate about golf, and loves great golf storytelling.
And that it is. How's your golf, Tom?
Find out tomorrow. No, actually, I played pretty good Sunday. What is my handicap is currently at a 2. And I've been lower. I've been higher. I had a rough start to the season, Kevin. I was just I was tinkering. I was struggling. But you can't blame it on the equipment. I mean, you got the best stuff. I mean, Titleist got you all swagged out in the ball. A little plug for Titleist there. There you go. We love that. Yeah, it's definitely not that. It's my watching Instagram and rethinking my golf swing every time a new lesson pops up.
Oh,
but last I got some good stuff in my head right now. So I'm I played all right this weekend, and we're playing in Media Day tomorrow for the U.S. Amateur at Marion, which is exciting. So yes, the plan is to bring Marion to its knees. which will not.
Well, good luck. Good luck with that.
Thank you.
And reach out and shake hands with somebody on the patio on the first tee when you're on the first hole. I've never seen a patio so close to the action there. I mean, that might be
a pretty intimidating tee shot, isn't it? Yeah, you're teeing off right out of somebody's lunch, pretty much.
Right. I almost grabbed the guy's piece of toast the last and the only time that I played there. Tom, where can people find the book?
Anywhere that you buy books. TomCoyne.com has more information and whatnot if people are interested. But yeah, the book is out wherever you get books, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or support your local bookseller, whatever you care to do. We'd love for you to check it out.
Tom Coyne has been our guest here on Party Time, My Golf Story, brought to you by Party Drinks. If you're looking for a drink alternative on the golf course, try a Party. The Golf Real Estate Pros, Gene Walsh and Vince Visicaro from SuncoastDreams.com, a division of Fine Properties and BioLit Spa in downtown Sarasota. Tom, great to see you as always. Hope to see you on the golf course, and maybe I'll lug those Titleist irons around and put you on a half-decent read or something.
We'll see you at Stream Song, my man. Appreciate it, Kevin. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Love the book. A Course Called Home. Tom Coyne. For Tom Coyne, I'm Kevin Walsh. We'll see you again next time on Party Time, My Golf Story.
You've been listening to It's Party Time, My Golf Story, brought to you by Party Drinks. Classically designed golf drinks for golfers by golfers, and the golf real estate pros Gene Walsh and Vince Visicaro. For your Southwest Florida real estate needs, check them out at suncoastdreams.com or call 941-220-4000.